The elevator doors slid shut with a soft ding, sealing me in with the last person I wanted to be alone with. My stepbrother, Ethan. We'd been avoiding each other for months, ever since our parents' wedding thrust us into this awkward blended family. But now, in the dim flicker of the emergency lights after the power outage hit, there was no escape. My heart pounded as the car jerked to a stop between floors, and Ethan's eyes locked onto mine, filled with an intensity that made my stomach twist. He leaned in, his breath warm against my skin, and pressed his lips to mine in a kiss that shattered every boundary I'd built. I pulled back, my mind reeling from the shock. "What the hell, Ethan?" I gasped, wiping my mouth as if that could erase the spark that had ignited something deep inside me. We were stuck in a high-rise apartment building in downtown Chicago, the kind where luxury met isolation, and the blackout had plunged the city into chaos. Ethan, with his tousled dark hair and that perpetual smirk, looked unapologetic. "I've been holding that in for too long, Alex," he said, his voice low and steady. "Ever since Dad married your mom, I've seen the way you look at me. Don't deny it." I turned away, pressing against the cold metal wall, my thoughts a whirlwind. Deny it? How could I, when I'd spent nights lying awake, wrestling with feelings I barely understood? I was 22, fresh out of college, trying to navigate a world that expected me to be the perfect son. Straight, successful, uncomplicated. But Ethan, at 24, had always been the wild card, the one who challenged norms without a second thought. Our parents' marriage had been a whirlwind romance after both lost their spouses young. My mom to cancer, his dad to a car accident. They found solace in each other, but for us, it meant sharing a home, a life, and now, apparently, secrets. The elevator's emergency phone rang once, then went dead, leaving us in silence broken only by the distant hum of generators outside. Ethan paced the small space, his athletic build making the confined area feel even tighter. "Look, Alex, this isn't some joke. I've known I was gay since high school. Hid it from Dad because he's old school, all about family legacy and appearances. But you're different. I see you struggling, man. The way you avoid dating, the excuses you make. It's killing you inside." His words hit like punches, exposing the cracks in my facade. I dated girls in college, but it always felt forced, like performing a role in a play I hadn't auditioned for. Society's expectations weighed heavy. The conservative circles our parents ran in, the church functions, the family business my stepdad owned, a construction firm where machismo ruled. Coming out wasn't just personal. It could unravel everything. I slid down to the floor, knees to my chest. "You don't get it, Ethan. If this gets out, it'll destroy them. Mom's finally happy after years of grief. Your dad, he talks about grandkids carrying on the name. We're brothers now, for God's sake." The word brothers tasted bitter, a label that didn't fit the turmoil brewing between us. Ethan knelt beside me, his hand hovering near my shoulder before pulling back. "Stepbrothers," he corrected softly. "And yeah, it'll be messy. But pretending? That's the real destruction. Remember last Christmas when Dad made that joke about real men at the dinner table? You laughed it off, but I saw the pain in your eyes." The memory flooded back. The lavish holiday gathering in our suburban home, lights twinkling, but the air thick with unspoken judgments. I'd excused myself early, claiming a headache, but really, it was the suffocating pressure. Ethan had followed me to my room that night, knocking gently. "You okay?" he'd asked. I'd brushed him off, but his concern lingered, planting seeds of doubt about my solitude. Now, trapped here, those seeds were sprouting. The elevator creaked ominously, and I wondered how long we'd be stuck. Minutes? Hours? Long enough for truths to surface, perhaps. Ethan sat across from me, our legs almost touching. "Tell me about that guy from college you mentioned once. The one you roomed with freshman year." You lit up talking about him, then clammed up. I hesitated, the confession bubbling up. "Jake. We were close. Too close, maybe. I pulled away because I got scared. Didn't want to admit what it meant. Saying it aloud felt like shedding armor, vulnerable but freeing." Ethan's nod was understanding, not judgmental. "Scared of what?" Losing everything? Or finding yourself? As the conversation deepened, the elevator's stuffiness amplified our tension. Sweat beaded on my forehead, mirroring the internal heat. Ethan shared his own story, coming out to a few friends in secret, the fear of his dad's reaction. He's a good man, but traditional. Thinks being gay is a choice, a phase. If he knew about us. He trailed off, the implications heavy. Us. The word hung there, unclaimed yet potent. I thought of my mom, her gentle smile, how she'd rebuilt her life. Betraying that happiness felt immoral, yet denying my feelings was a betrayal of self. Hours seemed to pass, though it was probably less, in that suspended space. We talked about dreams deferred. My aspiration to be a writer, stifled by expectations to join the family business. Ethan's passion for art, hidden behind his job as a project manager. The kiss replayed in my mind, not with revulsion, but curiosity. Was this the start of something real, or a momentary lapse? The power flickered back briefly, the elevator jolting, but then darkness returned. Ethan's hand found mine in the dim light, a tentative link. "We don't have to decide now," he whispered, "but don't shut me out." Finally, a voice crackled over the intercom. Maintenance was on the way. Relief washed over me, mixed with regret. As the doors eventually pried open, we stepped out into the lobby, the world resuming its pace. But something had shifted irrevocably. That night, back in our shared apartment, I lay awake, the kiss a ghost on my lips. Ethan avoided my gaze at dinner, our secret a fragile bubble. Little did I know, this was just the beginning of a storm that would test every bond we held dear. The next morning dawned with a deceptive normalcy, sunlight streaming through the kitchen windows as Mom hummed while making coffee. Ethan and I sat at the table, exchanging furtive glances over cereal bowls, the elevator incident a silent specter between us. Dad, my stepdad, Robert, bustled in, newspaper in hand, oblivious to the undercurrents. "Big day at the site, boys. Alex, you joining me for the inspection?" His question was casual, but loaded with expectation. I nodded mechanically, my mind elsewhere. At the construction site, amid the clamor of hammers and machinery, Robert pulled me aside. "Son, you've got potential here. Ethan's already stepping up, but I need you both on board for the legacy." Legacy, the word echoed like a chain. As we toured the half-built skyscraper, I watched Ethan interact with the crew, his easy charm masking the turmoil I now knew simmered beneath. During lunch break, he cornered me in the trailer. "About last night. We need to talk." His eyes searched mine, pleading for acknowledgement. "I can't, Ethan. Not here." But the pull was undeniable. That evening, after everyone retired, we met on the rooftop deck, city lights sprawling below. "What are we doing?" I asked, voice barely above a whisper. Ethan stepped closer. "Figuring out who we are. Together." His hand brushed mine, sending shivers. We talked for hours, sharing vulnerabilities. My fear of rejection, his past heartbreaks, felt like peeling layers, revealing raw truths. But guilt gnawed at me. Were we crossing a line that could fracture our family? Days blurred into a clandestine routine. Stolen moments in the garage, whispered conversations late at night. Ethan's touch became familiar, comforting, yet each encounter amplified the risk. One afternoon, while our parents were out, we argued in the living room. "This has to stop," I said, pacing. "If they find out." Ethan grabbed my arm. "And if we don't, we'll live in shadows forever." His passion ignited mine, leading to a heated debate about morality. Was love worth the pain it might cause? Society's gaze loomed large. At a family barbecue, neighbors chatted about politics, dropping casual homophobic remarks. "Can't believe they're pushing that agenda in schools," one said. I flinched, Ethan squeezing my knee under the table in solidarity. Later, alone, he vented. "That's the world we're up against. But we can't let it define us." His resolve strengthened mine, but doubt crept in. What if our relationship was just a rebellion against norms? Then came the first crack. Mom found a text on my phone. Innocent, But from Ethan, "Miss you already." She confronted me gently. "Is everything okay between you two? You seem close." Her concern was laced with innocence, but it terrified me. I lied. "Just brother stuff." The deception tasted sour, eroding my self-respect. Ethan, sensing my withdrawal, pushed harder. "We tell them soon or we end this." The ultimatum hung heavy, forcing a choice. I sought solace in old friends, meeting Jake, the college roommate, at a cafe. "You look different," he observed. Pouring out fragments of my story, I tested the waters. Jake, openly gay, listened. "Sounds like you're in deep, but hiding? It'll eat you alive." His words resonated, mirroring Ethan's. Returning home, I found Ethan waiting. "I can't lose you," he admitted, vulnerability cracking his facade. We embraced, the decision crystallizing. We'd face the storm together. But fate intervened. Overhearing a hushed call, I discovered Robert's secret. Financial troubles at the firm, hidden from Mom. Stress lines etched his face as he argued with a partner. "If this gets out, we're ruined." The parallel struck me, secrets breeding destruction. That night, Ethan and I planned our reveal, naive to the fallout. The confrontation unfolded at dinner. "We need to talk," Ethan started, his voice steady. Robert looked puzzled, Mom concerned. "Alex and we're in love." Silence exploded into chaos. Robert's face reddened. "What? You're brothers?" Mom gasped, tears welling. "How could you?" The accusations flew. Betrayal, selfishness, perversion. I defended us. "It's not a choice. We love each other." But Robert stormed out, slamming doors. Mom retreated to her room, sobbing. In the aftermath, the house felt like a war zone. Ethan and I huddled together, but the damage was done. Robert's words echoed, "You've destroyed this family." Guilt consumed me. Had our happiness come at too high a cost? As tensions simmered, I questioned everything, the weight of our choices pressing down. The days following the revelation were a blur of icy silences and heated arguments. Robert barely spoke to us, burying himself in work, while Mom oscillated between tears and tentative questions. "How long?" she asked one evening, her voice fragile. "Since the elevator." I confessed, omitting details. Her nod was pained, a mother's love clashing with societal conditioning. Ethan tried bridging gaps, but Robert's rebuffs were sharp. "I raised you better," he'd snap. Outside the home, whispers spread. A cousin called. "Heard some rumors. Everything okay?" The facade crumbled further when Robert's business partner, overhearing at the office, pulled investments. "Can't associate with that drama," he said. The firm's troubles deepened, Robert blaming us. "Your love is costing jobs," he yelled during a blowout. Ethan's face paled. He'd worked hard there. Guilt twisted like a knife. Our truth had ripple effects. I turned to therapy, sneaking sessions downtown. The counselor probed, "What's the core conflict?" "Family versus self," I replied. Sessions unearthed buried resentments. My dad's absence after death, Mom's overprotectiveness. Ethan joined once, our hands linked defiantly. "We're not wrong," he insisted, but doubt seeded. Was our bond real, or a product of proximity? Society's backlash hit harder. At a community event, stares followed us. An old family friend cornered me. "This isn't natural. Think of your parents." The judgment stung, amplifying internal turmoil. Ethan faced worse. A coworker outed him, leading to snide remarks. "Didn't peg you for that," one said. He quit, pride intact but spirit bruised. "For us," he told me, but the sacrifice weighed heavy. A turning point came with a family intervention. Relatives gathered, Bibles in hand. "This is sin," an aunt declared. Robert nodded grimly. "Choose your lifestyle or family." The ultimatum shattered me. Ethan stood firm. "Love isn't a choice." But I wavered, visions of isolation flashing. That night, we argued fiercely. "If you cave, what does that say about us?" Ethan demanded. Tears streamed as I admitted, I'm scared of losing everyone. Betrayal struck next. Desperate, I confided in Mom alone. Help me understand, I begged. She hugged me. But later, I overheard her pleading with Robert. Maybe counseling can fix them. The word fix broke something inside. Ethan, learning of it, felt betrayed. Even she doesn't accept us? Our unity cracked, arguments escalating. Maybe this was a mistake, I lashed out. Ethan's eyes filled with hurt. Don't say that. Seeking escape, I visited Jake again. Fight for it, he urged. Or regret forever. Inspired, I confronted Robert privately. Dad, I respect you, but this is me. His response surprised. I love you, son, but I don't understand. Give me time. A sliver of hope, but Mom's stance hardened, influenced by church friends. Pray it away, she suggested. The pressure mounted, testing our resolve. Then, a health scare. Robert collapsed at work, stress-induced heart issue. Hospital visits were tense. This family's falling apart, he whispered from the bed.
Balam hung ang spong.
Ethan and I supported from afar, our presence awkward. Recovery brought reflection. Robert softened slightly. I don't want to lose my boys. But conditions lingered. Discretion, no public displays. We navigated the compromise uneasily. Ethan pushed for more. We deserve full acceptance. I mediated, torn between loyalties. A secret date downtown reignited our spark. But paparazzi-like gossip from neighbors followed. Seen with your brother? A text mocked. Paranoia set in, eroding trust. As high tide approached, Ethan received a job offer in New York. Escape or abandonment. Come with me, he pleaded. The choice loomed. Stay and mend family, or leave for freedom. Heart pounding, I weighed the costs, the drama reaching fever pitch. The job offer hung like a sword over our heads, forcing decisions that could redefine everything. Ethan paced our room, now shared in secret defiance. New York means starting fresh, away from the judgment. His eyes shone with hope, but I saw the fear beneath. What about them? I countered, gesturing toward our parents' wing. Mom had withdrawn into routines, Robert into recovery exercises. Leaving felt like abandonment, yet staying meant suffocation. Arguments intensified. You're choosing them over us, Ethan accused one night, voice rising. No, I'm trying to save everyone, I shot back. The fight escalated, doors slamming, echoing through the house. Mom intervened, her face etched with worry. Please, stop this. But her plea only fueled Ethan's resentment. You want us to pretend? He challenged. She faltered. For peace. The word peace mocked our turmoil. External pressures compounded. A local news story on blended family scandals mirrored ours vaguely, sparking online buzz. Anonymous comments stung. Disgusting. Family first. Ethan deleted his social media, isolating further. I scrolled obsessively, the hate fueling self-doubt. Was our love worth this vitriol? Therapy sessions turned introspective. What's your truth? The counselor asked. Love. But at what price? Pondered. A family meeting convened, mediated by a pastor friend. God loves you, but this path. He trailed. Ethan walked out, furious. Hypocrisy. Later, alone, he broke down. I can't do this anymore. His vulnerability pierced me. I'd never seen him so raw. We reconciled in whispers, but the rift widened with Robert. If you go, don't come back, he warned Ethan privately. The threat devastated us. Betrayal deepened when I discovered Mom had confided in relatives, seeking support. Calls poured in, judgments veiled as concern. Think of the children, an uncle said. Ironic as there were none. Ethan, overhearing, confronted her. You betrayed us. Tears flowed. Mom apologized, but trust eroded. I just want my family whole, she sobbed. The emotional toll mounted. Sleep elusive, appetites gone. Seeking clarity, I drove to the lakefront, waves crashing like my thoughts. Memories flooded. Pre-marriage innocence, Ethan's first smile. Returning, I found Ethan packing. I'm going with or without you. The ultimatum mirrored earlier ones. Roles reversed. Panic surged. Don't make me choose. But he replied, you already are. The climax erupted at a farewell dinner Robert insisted on. Tensions simmered as toasts turned pointed. To choices, Robert said bitterly. Ethan stood. To truth. The room froze. I rose, heart racing. I'm going with him. Gasps echoed. Mom's face crumpled. Robert's hardened. Then go. The words severed ties. Pain acute. Packing was surreal, belongings symbolizing shed skins. Ethan held me as I cried. We'll build our own life. But doubt lingered. Was this liberation or exile? Driving away, Chicago's skyline receded. A chapter closing. In New York, we settled into a small apartment. Freedom bittersweet. Jobs came, me freelancing writing, Ethan in graphic design. But calls home went unanswered. Silence deafening. Months passed, wounds scabbing. A tentative email from Mom. Miss you. Reconciliation flickered. Ethan urged caution. They heard us. But I replied, bridging gaps. A visit loomed, testing waters. Arriving back, nerves frayed. Robert greeted stiffly, Mom tearfully. Dinner was awkward, conversations skirting edges. We've reflected, Robert admitted. But it's hard. Ethan nodded warily. For us too. Progress was slow, apologies exchanged, understandings forged. Yet scars remained, a reminder of costs paid. As we navigated this new normal, I reflected on the journey, the shocks, betrayals, awakenings. Love had demanded sacrifices, but had it been worth it? Reintegration was fragile, like walking on cracked ice. Back in Chicago for the holidays, we treaded carefully. No hand-holding, conversations neutral. Robert shared business updates, the firm stabilized, thanks to new contracts. Your leaving forced me to adapt, he said, a backhanded compliment. Ethan smirked. Glad we helped. Mom baked favorites, her way of mending. But undercurrents persisted. A cousin's absence, whispered side eyes. Personal growth emerged. I published articles on LGBTQ experiences, anonymized but cathartic. Ethan exhibited art depicting family strife, abstract yet poignant. Feedback was mixed. Support from allies, criticism from traditionalists. Stirring controversy, a reviewer noted. It mirrored our life, sparking debates. A major confrontation arose when Robert's old friend visited, dropping slurs casually. None of that queer stuff here, he joked. Ethan exploded. That's my life you're mocking. The guest left awkwardly. Robert apologized haltingly. I'm learning. The incident catalyzed deeper talks. Late nights, Robert shared his upbringing. Rigid norms, no room for deviation. I feared for you, he confessed. Understanding dawned, empathy bridging divides. Mom's journey was quieter. Joining a support group for parents of LGBTQ kids, she evolved. I was wrong to want to fix you, she admitted tearfully. Hugs followed, healing incremental. But Ethan remained guarded. Actions over words. His caution protected us, a lesson in boundaries. Society's mirror reflected progress and pitfalls. Pride events we attended drew stares, but also solidarity. A hate incident, a vandalized car, shook us, reinforcing resilience. We fight on, Ethan vowed. Back home, we advocated subtly, challenging prejudices. Romantically, our bond deepened amid trials. Quiet evenings in New York, dreams shared. Regrets? I asked once. None, Ethan replied, kissing my forehead. But family ties tugged. A wedding invitation from a relative excluded us as a couple. Come alone, it implied. We declined, principle over presence. The stand empowered, but isolated. High drama peaked with Robert's health relapse, minor, but alarming. Rushing back, we supported unconditionally. In the hospital, he gripped our hands. Family sticks together. The moment shifted paradigms, acceptance budding. Post-recovery, gatherings included us fully, no pretenses. Yet moral ambiguities lingered. Had we been selfish, prioritizing love over stability? Or brave, forging authenticity? Friends debated. Jake championed us. Others questioned timing. As years blurred, equilibrium settled. We balanced coasts. New York freedom, Chicago roots. Ethan proposed subtly, a ring in a park. Forever. Forever. The ceremony was intimate. Family attending. Robert walking us down. Mom beaming. Vows exchanged amid tears. A testament to endurance. But reflections haunted. The initial kiss, the scandals, the healings, all costs paid in emotional currency. Society evolved slowly, our story a microcosm. We mentored youth, sharing lessons. Embrace self, but weigh impacts. In quiet moments, I pondered the ethics. Love triumphed, but at what expense? Families mended, but scars endured. Was the pursuit of personal truth always justifiable, even when it inflicts pain on those we cherish? Or does duty to kin demand sacrifice of self? What do you think? Was our choice right, or should we have chosen differently?